Hi, I'm Maria Portamani, and I'm here to share a story about a good friend of mine named Sydney. Sydney and we've been very close friends ever since we were in diapers to the day that we earned our high school diplomas, and even to this day. When we were in elementary school, I noticed that Sydney acted like a tomboy. She would wear darker colored clothes and she would act a little more masculine and tough, but I never thought of that as a big deal. I mean, we all like to act and dress in different ways, so it was whatever. And then when Sydney entered middle school, she's a year older than I am, she classified herself as a lesbian and started dating girls. This never changed my opinion on her, and she's still considered one of my close friends, and I assured her that I was always going to support her for her decisions and actions, and I would never leave her side. Fast forward a few years, a couple of days after Sydney graduated high school, she declared that she wants to become a transgender male and be addressed to as Mason. Just like before, I had the same reaction. I'm always going to support Mason and his decisions and his actions, and I will always be there for him, never leave his side. We worked at Jersey Mike's together back in high school, and the summer following when Mason changed his sexual orientation, I overheard a conversation between our coworkers regarding Mason. They were criticizing his new sexual orientation, and they were making nasty comments saying that if your sex doesn't align with your gender, then you're not even considered a person, rather you're just a thing. What a lot of people don't know is sex and gender have two very different definitions. Your sex is based on the physical characteristics that you encounter, and your gender is the way you feel you are, whether you're male or female, and the way that you would like to express yourself as. So I didn't stand up for Mason, and I knew the instant that conversation ended, I regretted it very much so, and I wish I could have said something. But the main reason why I didn't say something is because I was only entering my senior year of high school. I was going to work at Jersey Mike's for one more year, and Mason was heading off his way to college already. So there's a couple sociological dynamics that normalize this inequality. One is gender polarization, which is the activities that are held for someone based on their gender. For example, girls, they're lured into playing with dolls, and guys are lured into playing with trucks and such. Another dynamic is sexual scripts, which is the responses and behaviors you express based on your gender. For example, girls, they tend to be more sensitive towards situations, and guys, they tend to hold their feelings back more and they don't act emotional that often. And going back to the situation with Mason, I knew I should have stood up for him the minute that the conversation ended. I still slap myself for not standing up for someone who I consider family to just a few coworkers, and it wouldn't have been a big deal if I stood up for Mason. I mean, I feel like if I did stand up for Mason, I would have been able to help my coworkers put themselves into Mason's shoes as much as we possibly can, because most of us don't know what it's like to not feel like who you are in your own skin and to always be uncomfortable with the way that you portray yourself. I mean, it's like being born into a different body that wasn't built for yourself. I mean, how are we supposed to imagine what that's like? So I definitely regret still to this day for not standing up for Mason, and I'm sure there wouldn't have been any negative intentions that I at first anticipated if I would have stood up for him. And I'm sure to this day they're still holding on to their same opinions and beliefs about Mason's sexual orientation and his steps to becoming a male.